Okay, good morning, everybody. And we are going to get started with our third Thursday monthly Zoom. It's going to be a quick one, and it's going to be the last one for 2023 because December 21st is the third Thursday, and that's just ridiculously close to Christmas. So we will regroup in January for our next Zoom meeting. I found this meme and I thought it was pretty funny. 5 things that I'm thankful for in real estate. And those first 2, oh my God, how thankful. If you've ever, some of the people on this Zoom never lived in a life without, haven't lived in a world without electric signatures and without caller ID. And if you can imagine, Carly, you might be the only youngin' on, or Maggie probably too. We used to just answer the phone with no idea who was on the other end. You just answered it and you said hello and you got whatever you got. Horrifying to think about right now. But that is how the world used to work. All right, I am going to start clicking through. We've got a couple of guests on our Zoom, and I'm going to introduce Tracy. And Tracy is going to talk to us for a few minutes about short-term disability insurance. And as self-employed people, this is something that we should all know about. And I've had it for a long time because before I was in real estate, I was a court reporter. And again, it was one of those jobs where don't work, don't get paid. I mean, that's our life. I don't get sick days. Most realtors don't get sick days. They don't have somebody to bail them out when things go sideways. So if you need time off, it's nice to have a safety net to help you in those situations. And Tracy's going to tell us more about that. And Tracy, do I need to make you the host so you can share your screen?
No, you do not.
Okay, then I will just take that down for now so you can see everybody.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time. So once again, hi, everybody. And thank you so much to Shanna and Carly for letting us join. Joseph and I are here to help. So unfortunately, I came down with a bug. And so I've been up most of the night. So he's going to do most of the chatting because he's more on it. But I really hope that when this is over, that you'll reach out to us, because Carly had mentioned disability. There's so many more coverages that are so beneficial that we all need, whether we have coverage or not. So I want to thank you, and I hope to meet with each one of you very briefly by Zoom or in person. And I'm going to hand it over to Joe now. Thank you so much for allowing us to join us.
Thanks, Tracy. And hi, Joe. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Shanna. So I know that insurance is not what anyone wants to hear about, right? Like, it's not the most exciting thing, but unfortunately, it's kind of an important reality that most of us should think about. And Aflac is something that a lot of people are familiar with from the duck commercials, but they don't exactly know what kind of coverage it is. And what we'll just briefly do in a few minutes is kind of explain why 50 million people have it. But the great thing to be aware of is that with Cascadia Northwest offering Aflac, you would get it at a group discounted rate of about 50%, and it's something that you would just submit with your monthly dues. So you would have access to a whole kind of variety of different benefits. And on top of that, I know for a lot of people, when they think about insurance, they think about health insurance, right? And health insurance is kind of a necessary evil in terms of the fact that we have to have it, but it doesn't pay you money. It pays the doctors and the hospitals. And so even if you have the best health insurance in the world, you have gaps. And so really what Cascadia is doing is giving you an option where, you know, if you're sick or injured, you have your medical expenses and your everyday living expenses. So health insurance is designed to get you the best doctor and hospital prescription drugs, but we have copays and deductibles that range anywhere from $2,000 to $15,000, which a lot of people don't have that when they're sick or injured. And then you have your everyday living expenses, mortgage, rent, groceries, car payment, right? Like, I'm not going to bore all of you with your bills. You know what they are, right? They stink and we pay them. But, you know, for most people, what they earn is here and your bills aren't very far below it. And if you get sick or injured, what happens is your bills go up and your income drops. So Aflac pays money directly to you, and then you decide where you need to spend it. Because if I have a $2,000 medical bill and I have to pay my mortgage, I'm paying my mortgage or my rent or my groceries or a car payment. So all Aflac plans have four things in common. The money goes directly to you. We don't coordinate with health insurance. So all of you as 1099s have a wide array of benefits through spouses, through different places. We work with, Washington school districts. We work with, a lot of the cities, Battleground. I mean, like those people have really rich benefit plans. Even if your spouse or wherever you have your health insurance is rich, there's gaps. And so Aflac gives you an option to fill those gaps. Tracy and I are just going to briefly highlight the different options, and then we're going to put a response form link in the chat at the end and then send it out to maybe Carly to just distribute, where everyone can kind of say, hey, follow up with me or don't follow up with me. Everyone's situation is different. Like I'm married with two small children. What plans make sense for me might make sense for some of you or might not. My job isn't to say that any particular plan makes sense for any person. It's just to educate you. So you're like, hey, I know what the options are that I have access to. Here's what makes sense for me personally. But know that Aflac doesn't coordinate, so it doesn't matter what your health insurance is. It's fully portable, so you get it at a group discounted rate, but you can take it with you when you leave or retire, and the rates don't change. Pretty much the only insurance where the rates don't change. God knows I wish none of my insurance rate changed. And most of the plans are somewhere between $5 to $15 a week. I use that as an example because you can have individual coverage, you can cover a spouse, two-parent family, or just yourself. So it's really flexible. And that's why we normally try and set up a time is because every option has different levels and different amounts. But, in terms of kind of our core plans, there's three buckets. There's our supplemental plans, which is our accident hospital, which work really well to fill in the gaps on deductibles and co-payments. So like an accident can be slip, fall, throw your back out, lifting something heavy, broken bones, dislocations, car accidents. A lot of people, if you're driving a lot, or if you're moving, or if you have kids, I have kids and they have accidents all the time. But like I threw my back out and went to a chiropractor, and Aflac paid me $120. It helped offset my copay. The more serious the accident is, the more money Aflac gives you. So say you broke your wrist, even if you didn't miss work, Aflac would pay you around $1,200. You could use it to offset a deductible. You could use it to offset, payments. It doesn't really matter. And even if you don't miss work, Aflac's still going to pay you on our accident plan. Has accidental death life insurance, covers sports injuries. So it's our most common plan that people use. But we also have our hospital plan, which covers sickness and helps fill in the gaps on deductibles and co-payments. So those plans are really good. And also the hospital is great for maternity planning. No pressure, but anyone that plans on having children, our hospital plans, pretty much the only way you can make money having kids, at least that I've discovered. But outside of that reason, it has a lot of other really good ways of help filling in gaps. And then to what Shannon mentioned earlier, we also have disability income protection, where you can cover up to 60% of your income if you get hurt or you have a sickness. It is based off of your net income over the last 2 years. It's kind of what we base it off of. But, as 1099s, you don't have access to Washington paid family medical leave. You have no income protection. And honestly, your income is one of your most important assets. I'm sure a lot of you love what you do, but also your income's important. And so Aflac's a way to ensure your paycheck, because if the paycheck stops, as most of us know, it's a roller coaster. But if it stops because we're out of work, then the next sale takes a lot longer and our income is in jeopardy, and Aflac allows you to protect that. We also offer life insurance, whole and term. If you have life insurance already, then it's probably what you need. If you don't have enough or any, Aflac, the nice thing is we don't require a physical. And so that is customized based off the individual. And then our last section is our catastrophic plans, which is cancer and heart, which truthfully, when I started with Aflac 12 years ago, cancer insurance, I'm like, that's crazy. Why would anyone get that? Unfortunately, 1 in 2 people are diagnosed, and it's one of the most financially devastating illnesses. Medical expenses are the largest cause of bankruptcy in the U.S., 66%. And that plan is our most impactful. It really lets a person focus on getting the best treatment instead of worrying about how they're going to afford to pay their bills and how soon they have to return back to work. There's different levels, but our middle level pays $75 every year towards the cancer screening, even if your health insurance covers it, to encourage people to get screened. Children are covered for free, and then it pays $4,000 towards the diagnosis, and that can build every year $500 until you're 65. And then it has a myriad of treatments like radiation, chemotherapy. Truthfully, like for me personally, like my wife, her mother and grandmother both went through breast cancer. My uncle had cancer and he went bankrupt from it. He had to sell everything. And it's not a pleasant conversation, but it's something that that policy, if I never use it, I'm happy. I also know that if you get cancer, within the first month, you're going to hit your maximum out-of-pocket expense. I had 3 conversations over the last 3 days with people that are going through it, and they're like, all right, I hit my out-of-pocket medical expense at $10,000 within the first month. Aflac fortunately gave them close to 20 grand initially, and then as they go through treatment, they get more. But it's a really impactful plan. And we do have our critical care policy that's geared more towards other health events like heart attacks and cardiac arrests and strokes. But those plans all have different levels, and each one's a little bit different. And I think that Aflac, unfortunately, for a lot of people, makes sense to them when they have to use it. And I haven't had anyone in 12 years be like, hey, I can't afford the Aflac. It's really inexpensive, but I've had a lot of people that are like, hey, if I didn't have the money coming in from it, I don't know how I'd be covering the bills that are coming in that I have to pay. And so each plan is different for each person's situation. What Tracy and I are going to do is put a link in the chat box where just complete it saying yes or no. That way we know whether to follow up with someone. If you indicate interest, it doesn't mean you're enrolled. It just means we'll follow up to set up a time to speak with you. And kind of figure out what options make sense, because it's hard for us to send somebody 8 brochures or 10 pages of rates if we don't know what you're actually thinking and what options might make sense. So that's the short version. I don't know if there's anything that we're kind of low on time, and I don't want to run long. If there's anything that Tracy you feel like I should add, or Shannon.
So there's a question in the chat. So let me open that up. If someone was diagnosed with cancer before they had Aflac, can they get it now?
As long as you're 5 years treatment free.
Okay.
Yep. 5 years treatment free. Accidents guaranteed issue, hospitals guaranteed issue, disability is guaranteed issue. All those policies you're eligible for. But the cancer policy is 5 years treatment free. And life insurance does have some underwriting.
Okay, gotcha.
And
Well,
then,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you again, and please reach out either way. Give us a moment to educate you further, because as a realtor or just as a human, I definitely see the value in it. My family's had Aflac prior to this, and I could tell you a few things that just kind of shake you, so trying to get it afterwards or after coverage is a really hard thing. So let us educate you.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
And we record this and then we post it to our brokerage, because we have a small percentage of people that actually make it to the meeting. And then when we post it, we'll also include that link in the caption.
Excellent.
So that people who then watch the replay will have access to
Excellent.
reaching out to you guys.
Sounds great. Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to try to go back to our Zoom, not Zoom, our PowerPoint. All right. Where's my share screen? There we go. Okay. So just a quick look at our current year-to-date numbers through the end of October, January 1st to October 31st. We are still number 23 in Clark County of over 300 brokerages. I don't remember the exact number of how many there are right now, but that's pretty freaking awesome. If you look at the people that are ahead of us, they're big hitters, and I am so proud of us for being up there with them. I think I'm reading over really quick. We might be the only smaller independent brokerage currently in the top 25. So while we're talking about RMLS, here's a little quickie overview for Southwest Washington for last week. Listings down, time on market up, sale price down, but just about 6%. And pendings and closed down. If you wanted to really like expound on those numbers in a way that you can share with your database or something to make a video on, you can pull the market action report and then say, okay, pending sales were down 3%, but historically in the month of November, they usually are down 3%. So that's not an indication of our market being particularly worse. It's a seasonal slump, although our market is also worse this year because of interest rates. But just a reminder, these are free graphics, free data. It's already been gathered and set up for you, and all you have to do is click and share. If you have a listing, or I guess also if you've been showing listings, you are familiar with Aligned. Aligned is a new software that RMLS is using. It does the same thing as Showing Time. And right now they're giving you the option of having both Aligned and Showing Time on your listing. My understanding is that Showing Time is fully going away. So when they rolled out Align, I completely ignored it and said, as long as we have the option for both, I do not want to learn a new thing. And then when I found out Showing Time is going away, I downloaded Align, and it's almost the exact same thing. So if you have not familiarized yourself with Aligned showings yet, you're going to need to in order to schedule a showing and in order to receive showing requests on your listings. So if you look, there's little hour-long classes offered for free. There's the schedule. There's a class Friday, there's a class Wednesday, there's a class Monday, and next Wednesday. And then there'll be more classes in December. So if you need to hop on to get further guidance on how to use Aligned, I haven't done one of the classes. I just downloaded it, and Carly and I kind of played back and forth, requesting showings and approving showings, and it works, like I said, just like Showing Time, but you're going to need to download it and be able to use it. Don't be like me and say, I don't want to learn new stuff, because we don't have a choice. They're getting rid of Showing Time. We sent out the reminder, and this month you'll be getting the updated payment information so that we know where you want to have your fees paid from. But the tech fee, we're now calling it the agent services fee. And we also need to get new W-2s from people if we've had yours for more than a year. So if you've joined within the last year or you updated within the last year, I hopefully won't ask you for a new one, but if I accidentally do, you can tell me, hey, I just updated that when I opened my LLC, or whatever you need to do. But be on the lookout. I just sent out a newsletter last week that talked more about this and the options if you want to prepay for 2024 to use the tax break in 2023. This is the month to do that. And if you pay the agent fee year in full, it's 1 month free. So you'd pay $2,200, and because you'd get a $200 month for free. So that's that. Haves and wants. We're going to talk a little bit more about events, but I wanted to give everybody a chance, because usually I'll put this at the very end and then people don't get a chance to jump in. I have got an adorable house in Woodland that I cannot get anybody to look at. So if you have buyers potentially interested in Woodland in the high 400s, let me know. It qualifies for USDA. The current sellers used USDA. It does not require flood insurance. And they've got it listed for $500, but they're willing to also pay closing costs. So if you've got a buyer that wants to get in, no down payment, USDA, and have their closing covered. I've got the house for you. So keep that in mind. And if you're interested in sharing it, let me know if you want to schedule a showing just for yourself and go do a walkthrough, take some video, blast it out on your social media. If you're looking for content, you're more than welcome to do it at this house. We just want as many eyeballs on it as we can possibly get. Does anybody else? I know Roxandra, you've got 2 new listings. One is in Washougal and one is in Vancouver. So if anybody else wants to talk about what they need help with, now's the time to unmute yourself. If you have a listing that you want more attention on, or if you have a buyer that you're looking for something specific for, hop in right now and let us know.
Hi. Yes, this is Roxandra. I just started my listing this morning. It's actually above Washougal River Road. There's no signage on the road, but it's 6.22 acres and it's right next to the Washougal Christmas tree farm. It's really nice. It has a pond on there and they're going to leave the boat, but it's 3-bedroom. The primary is on the full. It's got an updated full bath in there, deep soaking tub, walk-in closet, 2.5 baths, 1,977 square feet, high ceilings. There's a little office nook upstairs, and it overlooks the living room as well. There's updated kitchen and appliances, 2 fireplaces, one in the formal dining and one in the living room, large back porch. All of the appliances are going to stay because the sellers are moving out of state. There's a large fenced garden. There's a large chicken coop, and they said that the chickens can stay if the buyers want them. The mountains, when it snows, they talk about how you can just watch the snow falling in the mountains behind the property. It's got a 17 by 24 outbuilding, and I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head right now.
What's the
So
list price? I looked at it this morning, but I don't
It-
remember the list price.
It's $820.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So, oh, and Roxandra, are you okay
Yeah.
with other agents sharing the listing and promoting it and trying to bring a buyer?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Any
right.
of my lists. Yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody needs, like, again, if you need social media content, you know, grab these listings and promote the crap out of them. You are welcome to do that.
Shauna, is it okay if I talk about an Oregon listing that I have, or would
Yes,
you rather
yes,
not?
ma'am. Yep, jump in.
Okay. This is Deb. Hi. I have a condo on 148th and Rosa Parkway, or Rose Parkway rather. It is a 1,800 square foot, 2-bedroom plus bonus rooms townhome. It's huge, and they just had a new roof put on. They've got the seller put in a new furnace and has done a ton of the unsexy stuff. And so now there's just cosmetics to do. You could turn the tiki bar downstairs into a 3rd bedroom really easily, or if you want a super sexy wet bar, it's ready to go. And it's not overpriced. I don't think. We just dropped it to $315. The HOA dues are a little on the higher side, but it also means that you just got a new roof. So,
well, $315
it's
for
a great
1,800
place.
square feet sounds like a
Yeah.
deal. I mean,
Yeah, it's a fantastic place, and it's Jasper Heights. Jasper Heights, they are leased lands, so there's a little bit of extra there, but they're leased through 2070. And if there's any problem with the lender bulking at that, I've got lenders who can do it. And it also qualifies for through KeyBank a $5,000 credit and a 100% loan.
throw the MLS number into the chat.
I will do that.
Yeah, because I want to
y'all.
share that one.
Yeah, and you always have blanket permission to share any of my stuff. No problem whatsoever.
Perfect.
Anything
I think
you come across.
99% of our brokerage is that way, but I still always try to ask, just because sometimes people get a little touchy. And sometimes it's
I always call it
because
after
of the
people.
seller, in particular, some sellers will say, I don't want my house on. So, I mean, we've got one right now. They want to sell their house is it in Staten, Carly? Is that the name of the town? Staten?
Dayton.
Dayton. Okay, but there is a
Mhm.
Staten too, isn't
There
there?
is a Staten too.
Okay. Well, this house is in Dayton and they want to sell it, but they don't want to sign and they don't want it on the internet and they don't want open houses. So we're still trying to figure out how exactly we're supposed to sell that one. So yeah, sometimes, it is important. It's important to ask just because if it's somebody might have their particularities. Okay, yeah, so she put it in Deb put that in the chat. So anybody who wants to take a look at it. All right, next slide. Tomorrow, we have Coach Katrina with the Locker Room doing a business planning workshop for us via Zoom. Starts at 9, ends at noon. It's jam-packed. It's something that she usually does a full day of. So she's just going to kind of pick out some of the more hands-on stuff of actually sitting down and working on your plan. So if you are available to log in for that, let me know so that I can send you the handout. And save the date for our holiday party, which is going to be at my house on Friday, December 8th at 7 p.m. There's a event created so you can kind of get the details. We thought it would be fun to wear Christmas pajamas. You're not required to wear Christmas pajamas, but you're somewhat lame if you don't. I'm already working on my ensemble as we speak. So that is happening on December 8th. And our house, if you've been to my house before, we don't have kids. We don't have little kids. So we don't have anything for little kids to do except get bit by yippy dogs. So it's adults, but it's, you and your partner, your plus one. But we're not going to do we did family for the summer party, and we're just going to do adults for the holiday party. And our next third Thursday Zoom will be on January 18th, 2024. We're going to not do it in December because December 21st is a ridiculous day to ask anybody to want to do anything work related. So we're going to not do that. And Angela, you hopped in a minute late, so I didn't give you a spot at the beginning, but do you have anything to share with us on the lending front that we should be thinking about?
Hi, sorry to be late. I had a signing appointment 8:30 and the borrower went to the wrong fidelity title signing and it was a divorce situation. So good times.
Oh boy.
There's more and more loan programs that are coming out with down payment assistance. Washington State, everybody's very familiar with, but there's more coming out that's available for Oregon. So if anybody's looking for down payment assistance for their borrowers, rates have been slowly floating down. Inflation's finally starting to curtail. So we should be seeing lots of things picking up. I've had a lot of you guys have offers accepted. People should be looking because now's the time. Anybody has any questions, can my person afford or what can we do to get them in, let me know. We're going to be doing a locking for one of Shanna's listings today. Has anybody heard of her listing in Raspberry? So
that would be the Woodland listing. We are trying to just spruce that puppy in any way we can.
So we're going to do a lock and list and we're going to lock it and then we'll show them in the comments that they could be buying down the interest rate to a certain amount just to try and get some excitement. If we lock it with Evergreen, they can use Evergreen if they want to. If they don't want our interest rate and they don't want to use us, they don't have to. It's just another tool in the toolbox to try and get you guys to get more eyes on your listings. So
yeah, absolutely. And so when we lock it, how much lower, like will it go like a full point lower or possibly more?
Well, you mean if we lock it today, what will it be 30 days from now, the interest rates?
Right.
Or if we buy down the interest rate?
If we lock it with the buy down.
I am not sure. Yesterday I had too many phone calls to calculate, and every day there's not like a set amount that we
Right.
know how much it's gonna be. Every day it changes. So just so you guys know, ARMs, the adjustable rate mortgages with the inverted yield curve, there's just not the spread there used to be. So ARMs aren't as attractive, and the money to buy down the interest rates takes more money than it used to in a traditional situation. So it's weird right now. Just ask your question.
All right. Well, does anybody have anything else before we wrap this meeting up at 10:31, meeting my goal of a half-hour meeting?
Just a quick run through of what's going on for holiday stuff. We are wrapping up our Thanksgiving baskets. We have the pie delivery open house on Sunday. Everybody is welcome, even if you're not doing pies. We have the Mingle for a Mission open house happy hour at Washougal, where we will be collecting food for Clark County Food Bank, and tree tags will be out here as well during that event. And we have a 50-50 drawing for Refuel Washougal. Tickets for those are available now, and you do not have to be present to win. So if you want a ticket, reach out to me. And then watch for next year's events. We will be posting stuff or keeping updated stuff often. So just keep an eye for that.
Perfect. Hey, Carly, move over a little bit. Can we see the Christmas tree if you move? No, not really. So, oh, she's on her laptop, so she's going to go show us. So there is the Uptown Christmas tree, and it has tags on it. Like, grab a tag and show everybody how this works if they haven't done Giving Tree before. These are tags for people that are involved in recovery. Some are for adults that are in recovery. Some are for children of adults that are in recovery, and it's their little Christmas list. It's some things that they want and some things that they need. And if you want to spread a little holiday cheer, you could go take a tag off the tree, take a picture of it, do a little shopping for a kid or an adult.
So, like this tag, it has the age, the gender, the tag number. The needs are hygiene, warm clothes and shoes, and the wants are art supplies. And then it gives the clothing size and the shoe size for like those warm clothes and shoes that they need. They are in like little cards, but if you take one, please leave it on my desk and don't write anything on them.
Yeah, we give them back to Revived and Restored with, like, so when you come in with the gifts wrapped, then we're going to tape that card back onto it for when they come to pick up, or when we deliver, I guess is more like it. Can you take your laptop into the conference room too?
Shanna, what's the due date for the gift cards to be back? Or
Carly,
for the gifts
when
to be
are
in the
those
office?
back? Or Tabitha or Carly?
I just reached out for the gifts. I just reached out today to get a due date. I haven't gotten back though.
Okay.
Okay.
So
CJ and I are going to be the usual. Hey, it's the end. Who didn't get picked? Give us 5 cards. Okay. Because we usually like to do that last minute rush.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, so we've set up, it's not really easy to, well, there's all the Thanksgiving food that's going to Council for the Homeless. How many dinners are we providing, Tabitha?
We are doing 8 full dinners, everything from the turkey and a roasting pan to cook it in, to potatoes to make mashed potatoes, and rolls, everything they need to make a basic Thanksgiving dinner.
Perfect. So that's going out. And then we've set up, it's kind of crowded in there right now, but we are still in the process of setting up a wrapping station. So you can't really tell that that is a giant stack of wrapping paper. I mean, at least probably 5 or 6 rolls. We got to add some tape and scissors. I've got a bunch of gift bags to add as well. So when you do your Christmas shopping, if you want to stop in at the office and wrap your gifts before you go home, then they would come in the door already wrapped and you don't have to hide them. And if you want to offer that to your clients on Monday through Friday from 9 to 5-ish, that they can pop into your office, you might not be there, but you've got a wrapping station set up for them. you are more than welcome to use that as something for you to promote to your sphere, for social media, to just kind of connect with your people. If you're looking for a reason to reach out to your sphere and talk to your database, invite them to come wrap. All right. Well, if nobody else has anything, then I am going to pull the plug on the meeting, and it'll be posted for replay in the group. Thank you, everybody, and have a fantastic Thanksgiving next week. Bye.